to make a vanilla cake, a white vanilla cake, you're going to start off with your sifter inside of your mixing bowl. And to your sifter, you are going to add 2½ cups of flour. You do not want to pack these cups of flour. You want them to be fairly accurate, so be careful about that. With your 2½ cups of flour, you are going to add in 1 full teaspoon of baking soda, 1 full teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And the reason we are using only a 1/4 teaspoon of salt is because I use salted butter in my cakes. Now, you may be wondering why we're starting off with the dry ingredients. Most cakes cream together their eggs and sugar and butter together first, but we're going to do a reverse cream method, which I like better. It results in a thick but really moist, like I don't know, it's not as crumbly. I think if you do the regular cream method, your cake can get too airy, and then the icing is just too much on top and you're not able to handle it. So I like to make my cake sturdier and my icing lighter in sugar, okay? So we're going to start off with sifting all of these ingredients together. So once all of these ingredients are sifted together and in your mixing bowl, you can go ahead and, if you have a mixer, like an electric mixer like I do, you can put it in the stand. Otherwise, you can go ahead and pull out your hand mixer, your whisk, whatever you're choosing to do this with today. And you are going to want to go ahead and add 2 cups of sugar to this. Oops, sorry, party foul. So you're going to want to add 2 cups of sugar. This isn't like quite a cup, just listen, don't look. That's the thing, okay? I don't really measure anything when I do it. I'm just telling you how to do it. So you're going to want to add your sugar in here, and we are going to connect this to the mixer, and I will be right back with the attachment. Dry ingredients in your bowl, you're going to go ahead and turn your mixer to speed 1 and slowly drizzle in 1 full stick of melted salted butter. Not margarine, not Crisco, butter. Okay, and then as that mixes, it will become like a bit of a sand consistency. My tripod is too weak to be able to give you a better view of this. But as you're mixing that in, you're going to come in with these egg whites. And we have 4 room temp egg whites in this bowl. And we are going to very, very slowly incorporate all of these egg whites into this cake. You can do a reverse cream method on any flavor of cake, not just this one. So if you're doing a different flavor of cake that uses full eggs, you would do the exact same thing and just add 1 egg at a time. So now we have about a cookie dough consistency here, and we are going to add in 1 full cup of this Cabot Greek vanilla yogurt. You can use any vanilla Greek yogurt. This is just the one that I prefer. It is my favorite. Again, we're putting about a cup in here. I don't measure anything. I just tell you how to measure things. So don't judge me. Now we're going to turn it up just a little bit. Get it to mix a little bit more thoroughly with that yogurt, because the inside is going to be a little bit thicker. Once you get that all mixed together, you can add a splash of vanilla. I'm going to continue repeating that I don't measure things, okay? So just do your best. I would say like a tablespoon. I've never measured vanilla in my life, probably. So it's not going to kill anything if you do less or more. I would do about a teaspoon, or a tablespoon, my bad. And as this mixes together, we are going to slowly incorporate a cup of whole milk. And again, the mixer is on low. If you have the mixer on high, even this, it might splatter on you, so just be careful. I do not have a shield for this mixer. I have a shield for my other mixer at my mom's house, but I do not have a shield for this mixer here. And you want to continue, see it's starting to splash on me. Just continue incorporating that milk. Once your milk is all incorporated, you can take a spatula and go ahead and scrape down the sides and get anything that's sticking there off. So see, as I scrape down these sides, you can see that there is about a 1/4 inch of buildup of the previous batter. You want to make sure you scrape down or you will end up with clumps. You do not want clumps. They are not good for your cake. They will be nasty. No one wants to bite into a cake and get a clump of flour or a clump of congealed yogurt. It's just not enjoyable. So take the time to properly scrape the edges and inside of your bowl. Okay, so now I've gotten the edges scraped. I'm going to turn this back on to probably like medium. Low is not quite enough and high is too loud. So the only thing that we have left in this cake is half a cup of vegetable oil. The vegetable oil and the butter help ensure that this cake stays moist for days, okay? You can make this cake and freeze it after it's cool, of course. You can make this cake the day before. You can make this cake on Friday night before church on Sunday. It's your choice. It will stay moist for, I would say, about 5 days would be about when you would start to notice a decline in texture. But if cake is lasting 5 days around your house, then you're not doing it right. So, now that our batter is done, we are going to prepare 2 8 or 9 inch pans, whichever you have, I use lard. You can use butter, Crisco, whatever. I just use lard because it's the easiest for me. And then you are going to coat it in flour, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. My cake pans here, these are Wilton cake pans. I swear by Wilton. I don't think that they're as good as they used to be, but if you can find old Wilton pans, I would buy them no matter what. Like, they are amazing. So I'm covering this in, I almost said Crisco, lard. And once it's covered in lard, just a smooth, like, you don't have to clump it or anything. You just want the inside covered. You are going to take your cup of flour, sprinkle your flour in here, and just pat and rotate. Pat and rotate all the way around. First, you're covering the bottom, and then you can focus on the sides. As you're doing the sides, you can just use your other empty pan as a catch-all. If you go ahead and grease the other pan, you can go ahead and get a head start. But always make sure you have something to catch this flour because it is going to make a mess. So once you're done, you're going to have a coated pan, just like this. And your cake will not stick to this pan. Like, it won't. It will not. And one day I'll show you how to make a paste that you can actually keep in your refrigerator that will do the same thing that you can just paint on with a paintbrush. But I don't usually have the fridge space for that, so I don't bother. But I will be back as soon as I cover this other pan with flour and lard. If your pans are ready, you go ahead and separate half of this batter into one pan, half of the batter in the other. You can definitely just eyeball this. If you're a parent, you're probably better at it than other people, and that's okay. So let's see. Yes, I love that. It's so smooth and it smells so good. I even have key lime pies in the oven right now. I'll have that video up as well. It all smells amazing in here. So what I like to do when I bake a cake is I will tap it like this because air bubbles. And every single time that I do this, you want to keep doing this until you see air bubbles because I promise you that they're there. So if you're not seeing them pop on the top, you have not baked your cake enough, okay? We're not talking big bubbles, just little bubbles. But if you don't see them, you are not done. Now you're going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees. They're going to bake around 25 to 30 minutes, but every oven is different, and I will update you with a more accurate time once I get these out. You will know that they're done with a toothpick test. You put the toothpick in, they come out clean. You can also, when you touch it, it will not be sticky. There are multiple different ways that you can check to make sure a cake is done. So if you have trouble with that, I will make a whole video on all the different ways you can tell that your cake is done without mutilating it, okay? So we're going to bake these for 20 minutes, 350 degrees, and I will be right back with the finished product. So our vanilla cake is done. It is out of the oven. It is not, like, there's no give. Like, it is done, okay? Look at these bubbles. If you can pick a bubble and you can peel the skin off of your cake like that, it's done. If you poke a toothpick in it or a cake tester and it comes out clean, it's done. You do not want it to be, like, dried, like, I feel like this is, at that point, it's a common sense thing. Just don't overcook your cakes. Check them. If you feel like you don't know what you're doing, check them more often, because it is better to drive yourself crazy checking your cakes than to burn your cakes and waste your money and your hard work and lose your reward, which is the delicious cake at the end. So just keep checking until everything is clean. Do not over bake your cakes because they'll be dry. It'll ruin the moistness. Don't do that. Sorry, these are beautiful and I can't stop touching them. I'm going to let them cool to room temp while I go hang out with my kids, and I will see you when they are all ready to be frosted in my whipped frosting. All right, see you later, guys.